Welcome to your topic 2.3 notes. This will be the second page in your little packet that you received yesterday. Really just 3 pages. I guess it's not a packet. So this will not take very long. When you are finished, please make sure that you complete your 2.3 guided reading and turn that in. If you are one of the few that have not completed your topic 1 writing prompt or topic 1 quiz, please make sure that you complete that as well. So this lesson is basically just discussing the Articles of Confederation and their ineffectiveness. They were rather weak and actually caused more problems, which leads to the idea that the government should be stronger. So the big concern with the revolutionaries and the new independent American states was that government would be too strong. So they were trying to make it more where states had more control on their specific area. So the Articles of Confederation is really kind of an alliance between the states. So, and it's a friendly agreement that we will do abide by what we agree and will respect our fellow states. So the Articles created a simple structure of a government. They had a unicameral house, which means one house. That meant that the name was Congress and it was the sole body. They didn't have an executive branch, nor did they have a judicial branch. And it granted every state a singular vote. These are the powers that the Articles gave, that Congress could declare war. They could send and receive ambassadors. This probably really wasn't a major factor at this point in time in history because we really only worked with a handful of countries. They had the power to create treaties, whether it was with the Native Americans or with a country outside of the United States. They could borrow money, which we did from France until France ran dry to do their revolution. They have the ability to raise an army and a navy. Problem there, though, was having difficulty in paying the army and navy. And they have the ability to settle disputes between the states if needed. Again, states don't necessarily respect the Articles and those powers. So that was the idea that they should be able to do that, but it wasn't necessarily effective at it. So what did the states agree to? They said that they would honor all public acts, basically laws, of other states. They agreed to return one another's fugitives to one another. They agreed that they would allow open travel and trade. Prior to this time, a state could charge you poll fees to come into the state or to trade there or tax you higher because of that. And then they enjoyed that power of the idea of promoting safety and happiness of the people. So that is what the states were required to do. However, we will find that the Articles are still extremely weak. They didn't have a power of the tax, so they had no way to raise money. They couldn't regulate trade among the states because that was a states' rights decision. Although the states agreed to obey by those article laws, they had no way to enforce it. Congress could only exercise any kind of power if they had the 9 out of 13 states agreeing. And the only way they could change anything within the Articles was that it was unanimous in all the states. And probably the next biggest thing that I would probably put it in the top 2 to 3 biggest weaknesses had the fact that there was no national currency that represented all of the states. So states were printing their own money. So the value of money was pretty much useless. So you're going to be seeing political cartoons throughout this semester. You'll see them in notes and you'll see them on assignments and on the test. So a lot of times it's just going to ask you to analyze the picture and address that. So analyzing this picture, we can see because Congress can't tax, they don't have ability to raise money. They're begging states to give them money. So if you want to draw back and think about it a second, you should kind of remember learning about Shays' Rebellion in 8th grade. So I know it's been a minute. And Shays Rebellion was a group of farmers who were tired of struggling. This is just a handful of years after the revolution is over. The economy is challenging to begin with, and Shays Rebellion occurred in Massachusetts. And the governor of Massachusetts is kind of a shady guy, makes a deal with a very detailed deal with various businessmen in the way that they're dealing with farmers in Massachusetts. So prior to the war, they were able to buy on credit or to barter. But after the war, the business gentleman required payment in advance to the war. To the purchase of the products. So there was no credit, no bartering. And with that, it prevented many farmers from being able to get what they needed. Although the rebellion, led by Shays, who would actually be convicted and eventually pardoned, is unsuccessful as far as removing all of this immediately, Massachusetts within itself will make laws within their state government, will make laws to prevent those types of things happening to the farmers and to assist those people who owed an substantial amount of money. Now, at the federal level, what this does is that they're unable to really quash it. And so this rebellion forces the people to take a look at the articles, and there starts basically a growing demand to change the articles or to replace them altogether. And one of the vocal outspoken individuals on this is actually George Washington. Alexander Hamilton would be the next largest outspoken individual. They're not the only ones, but they start out. So this demand comes in for a stronger government because basically the articles doesn't allow for the government to really do a whole lot as far as handling situations. So once they started to try revising the articles, they realized that they weren't revising. They were actually creating a whole new government, giving a stronger central government, which will eventually lead to our executive and judicial branches. However, while they're doing this, the big question is, and becomes a huge conflict, how strong is too strong? How involved does the government need to be in the day-to-day operations? That is the question that they had to address. Okay, today this is the end of our notes for now. So once you have completed writing your notes, then address your 2.3 guided reading. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in the next class period. Have a great day.